This is the Evil Never Dies podcast with Brett and Carl. This podcast may contain adult themes, violence, and strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
The Evil Never Dies podcast.
Welcome back to the Evil Never Dies podcast. I'm Brett here with Carl. What's going on, man?
I just fell off of a red stool putting Christmas lights on the tall Christmas tree.
Oh no, that's awful, dude.
Yeah, my foot hurts, my knee hurts, and I got a really bad headache now.
Oh shit.
And I fucked the Christmas tree up. It looks like crap now because it fell too.
Did you land on the Christmas tree?
No, I landed on my goddamn curtain, so now the curtain thing's bent.
Oh no.
So I got to buy a new curtain rod.
Oh shit. That's fucking awful, dude.
Yeah, I'm not real excited to be here right this moment because this just happened like 10 minutes ago. So
fuck.
I'm kind of don't have my wits about me.
Oh shit. No
I kind of bashed my head in a little bit.
So you basically bounced off the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking no good, dude. Well, I hope your knee ain't fucked up. I guess you'll know tomorrow when you wake up.
No, my foot's more hurt than my knee.
Ankle or foot or
Bottom of the foot.
oh fuck. That sucks, dude.
That's what I get for trying to be in the Christmas spirit, I guess.
Well, you got your one tree back there lit up cool, so
It's red and green.
did you put some lights on it, or is that the
Yeah,
lights?
it's got red lights on it now.
Yeah, as you can see, I got my tree flashing there in the background. Oh
Hey,
no, what's
look.
that one? Who's that?
That
Yeah.
is Vampire Bear from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
Found him in a pile of trash today.
pile of trash.
Yeah.
Were you dumpster diving?
No, at the store, he was in a pile of trash.
Really?
Vampire Bear. Even though he looks like Mickey Mouse, see?
Does sort of look like an evil fucking Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Well, now he lives here.
Another addition.
Yeah.
All right.
I wish you could see back here better. I got a Kiss Gene Simmons ornament, a Paul Stanley, and then I got a Gene Simmons baseball and a little holder. And my two ornaments that I actually own is the Frankenstein and the Dr. whatever the hell his name is, the clown. What's that clown's name? Captain Spaulding.
Captain Spaulding. Okay. I got some horror ornaments I need to dig out and put on mine.
I don't even have anything to drink here with me.
Why not?
Because I just fell off of a stool and about knocked myself to death.
Well, that's the fucking first thing I would have did was made me a drink.
Dude, I was trying to make sure I wasn't dead.
Jesus. We'll make you a drink and I'll get started here if you want.
No, I'm going to do a Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about?
Tonight, we're going to be discussing Motley Crue.
Hmm.
Carl rubbing his face. Oh, shit.
Everybody knows what I think about Motley Crue now.
I know. Well, I was going to do this for the midweek and you agreed to it. So
I
that's
agreed to it because I didn't want to watch a movie this week. And then I watched one anyway, and we're going to do it in a couple weeks. It was so good, I ordered it on Blu-ray.
Oh.
It was on Tubi.
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do that after I get the Blu-ray, and it might take till after Christmas because it's from the Vinegar Sin, whatever they're called, company, and they don't do a lot of their shipping till after Christmas on their Black Friday sales.
Oh, okay.
So it might be in January, but yeah, I did watch a movie anyway after saying I didn't want to.
Yeah, I asked you. I was like, "Is it show worthy?" And you were like, "Yeah." So then I watched it,
And
and
you
then
liked it, huh?
yeah, it wasn't bad.
It's Italian horror, if anybody's curious.
Yeah,
I'm kind of wanting to get this guy's other two movies that just came out on Blu-ray, but I'm gonna have to save money up to get these things. Media is getting more and more and more expensive.
just like everything. Just like
Well, the problem is there's only like a few factories that make Blu-rays now.
yeah,
And all these boutique companies like Scream Factory and Severin, and they're having to charge more.
yeah,
And I guess they're everybody was bitching that some of these things were costing so much, but people are still ordering them because it's the only way you're going to get them. Either fucking Tubi, man, that thing comes through all the time.
it does. There's all kinds of stuff on there.
I think it's the best. I would pay for Tubi if it was
Commercial
payable.
free. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
You would think they would
Fox or
offer. You'd
the
think they
Fox
would
network
offer.
owns it, but yeah, they bought it out a few years ago, so it's a Fox company.
Yeah, you would
But
think they would offer a pay subscription to it.
Fox is trying to stay out of the streaming world. They don't want to really delve into it too deep.
But yeah, I'm always.
I think they're still trying to keep regular media alive as much as they can. Of course, all they own now is the Fox network, Fox News, and Fox Sports, and whatever else they own across the world. But they're a much smaller company than they were before they sold off the 20th century's part of them. But Tubi's good stuff. So
Now, if Fox owns them, they do they still have the rights to put the 20th century stuff on Tubi, or how's that work?
no, Disney owns the rights to all that now.
Oh, okay.
And that's all supposed to live at Hulu eventually. There's still things under contract. You know, these contracts get signed for years, so
Yeah.
it'll be a while before Disney has all the streaming rights to all the 20th century shit. So eventually it's supposed to live on Hulu, but I think they're going to merge Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN into one package. That's the new thing. You know, they just merged Paramount Plus with Showtime. And
Yeah.
of course, HBO and the Discovery Channel and whoever else merged into Max. So they're all merging now.
Yes, they are. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, like I said,
Yeah.
we're doing Motley Crue, and we're gonna be talking about "Shout at the Devil," which is their second studio album, and it was recorded from April to July of 1983 after 3. What the fuck?
I don't know. Maybe you fell off a stool.
And this come off the heels when they started recording this album, came off the heels of a certain tour they were supposed to open with, which we'll get into that a little bit later. Well, they
And
did.
off the heels of Too Fast for Love, their debut album.
Yeah.
Which I will say before we start is a superior album to this album.
Yeah, I like it too. The first one and this one are probably my two favorites out of all of them.
Well, your non-Motley Crue fan will always say, "Oh, my favorite album's Shout at the Devil." It don't matter. That's just what people say. I'm not dogging anybody. You ask a non-Motley Crue fan, "Oh, Too Fast for Love is their best album." Yeah. Just yeah.
Okay. It was recorded at Cherokee Studio in Hollywood, California. The genre is heavy metal, glam metal. Very short album. Length is only 33 minutes and 57 seconds.
It feels longer, but
Yeah, it does, but it's not.
I guess because Theater of Pain was such just a boring fuck album, it made this one seem longer and better. Yeah, I don't like Theater of Pain. Nor does Nikki Sixx. He's said it many times. The only thing on that album that's any good is Home Sweet Home, and that's it. So sometimes I think Shout at the Devil gets a lot of praise because Theater of Pain was such a shit fest. Maybe. I don't know.
Released on Elektra Records. Producer was Tom Werman. And it was released on September 23rd of 1983. And I got this album for Christmas that year, I remember.
Well, before I fell off of a stool, I was going to go actually pull the record out because I actually have my original copy that I'd bought.
Oh, really?
Probably 83. I don't know exactly when I got that thing. But Halloween stop. Sorry, I got a yellow cat running rampant around here.
Tearing shit up.
I think she's don't know what to make of all these Christmas trees. She ain't tearing them up. She's just jumping on the chair and looking at them. Anyway, I do have the LP still, the vinyl, or whatever you want to call it. Much cooler album cover than the CD. Here's the CD right here. It doesn't have the pentagram.
Yeah.
The original album had a black pentagram, glossy black pentagram. The same back. This is the LP back as well.
Yeah.
But they changed the cover probably because they were getting banned, I guess.
Yeah, we'll go into that a little bit too.
I don't know what I would describe Motley Crue's look. Motley was always changing. I'm going to try to be unbiased here and not hate upon Motley Crue since they were my favorite band for about 20 years. But I don't know what kind of a look they had going at this stage. I don't really call that a glam rock look.
No.
I don't know. I mean, Vince is wearing women's makeup, but Nicky's got his, I don't know. It's sort of like more of a Kiss look to me.
Exactly. Like a Kiss ripoff.
Yeah, exactly. A Kiss ripoff.
That's what I always thought.
Yeah, which they would change on Theater of Pain and go to a pure glam rock look. And then they would dump that and Girls, Girls, Girls and go to a biker look. So Motley was always reinventing themselves as far as their looks and even their music. But yeah, this was always sort of I don't know, sort of their iconic look for me. If I think of the Crue, I just sort of like the whole that Kissy look, I guess. I don't know. I don't know that it's a Kiss ripoff, but I don't know what else you'd call it. But like I said, I think that might have been their best look right there.
Yeah.
Definitely that and the Girls, Girls, Girls when they were wearing the denim and leather. But anyway, that's the album cover. I don't have the actual vinyl with me. Here's the original pressing of the DVD, and right there, that's on Elektra DVD or CD. I'm talking wrong. And this will just prove to you that CDs don't mess up because this thing I bought in 1987. And guess what? There's not a scratch on it anywhere. But we do have the new version when they went back and remixed everything and they added bonus tracks.
That's a 2003 version. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We'll go into that when we do the track listing.
On the label Motley Records. So I actually keep both CDs in the same cover because that's I don't like getting rid of shit. So yeah, I've got the original and the remastered. So there you go.
All righty. Motley Crue is Vince Neil on lead vocals, Mick Mars, guitars, acoustic guitar, and backing vocals. Nikki Sixx, bass and bass pedals and backing vocals.
Let me disclaimer. Supposedly, there's talk now that he did not play on Shout at the Devil any bass at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So supposedly bass tracks.
Okay, and then last but not least, we got Tommy Lee on drums and backing vocals. Like I said,
now before you get into shit, they tried to fire Mick Mars during this album.
Yeah, I was going to go into that when we go into the tour, because it sort of happened on the tour with Ozzy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's kind of poetic because last year they actually finally did fire Mick Mars from Motley Crue after all
Yes, they
these years. They've
did.
been trying to fire Mick multiple times. He almost got fired during Generation Swine and was going to be replaced by John Corabi on guitar. Yes, there could have been a Motley Crue that had both John Corabi and Vince Neil in the band. Mick was pissed and wanting to leave, and they were ready to fire him and hire Corabi as their lead guitar player. What kind of a warped world does Motley Crue live in is all I got to say. And I lived in it for a number of years, dude.
Yeah, I know,
The
man.
the good, the bad, and the ugly. I lived through it all until they retired.
Supposedly retired.
A supposed retirement upon a contract they signed in their own blood.
Yeah.
Then they broke it. They fired Mick Mars. Vince Neil can't sing and looks like the Bumble. And Nikki Sixx apparently doesn't play his instruments and may not even know how to play bass, as far as I know. So there you go. I won't talk any more shit about the current day Motley Crue. We'll go back to Shout at the Devil now.
Do you think somebody's going to be a whistleblower one day and come out and said, I'm the one who really played bass for Motley Crue?
Well, you know, there was one point that some dude claimed he was Nikki Sixx, that Nikki Sixx had overdosed and died. Or not die. I don't know if he's dead or what, but he claimed he'd taken Nikki Sixx's laugh over. And then the real Nikki came back and this guy sued him. It might have been true now that it's all said and done.
Wow.
It's a fucking soap opera, dude. These guys make Kiss look like just normal with all their drama. It's a soap opera dealing with these dudes. It's just a soap opera, man. I need to do an entire episode on this fucking band, I guess.
Yeah, I think you do. Even if you have to do parts.
Well, let's get back to Shout at the Devil.
All right. Tom Werman was, like I said, was producer. Jeff Workman, engineer. Doug Schwartz, assistant engineer. George Marino mastered it at Sterling Sound in New York. And Bob Defrin did the cover art. And he's a very popular photographer and artist.
Yeah, it's good art. I just dropped the damn thing. I can't even duck down to get it. Don't fall off the stools, people. Look how red I turned from ducking down.
That's no good. Your blood pressure's up, brother. That can't be good. Got a cuff, you can check it.
No.
All right, the charts got up to number 17 on the Billboard Top 200 for 1983. 23 in Canada. And supposedly this year, it hit 10 in the UK.
Well, they actually released a box set this year called You're the Devil.
Yeah.
Which, even though I hate the fuck out of these guys right now, I actually wish that I owned that box set because it's cool as fuck. But I'm not gonna pay Nikki Sixx any more money.
Yeah, I seen it. They did an unboxing of it. I watched a video of it.
It's cool as fuck. It really is. They did a good job with that. Motley's always done a good job of re-releasing their archives.
But that's because since it's 40 years since that album's been out, it don't fucking seem like this 40 years ago.
It does to me.
It's just crazy.
It does to me. Because I remember playing this album in 1983 at my friend Eric's house. And we thought they were devil worshippers. And we were totally fascinated by the fact that we were listening to Satanics. Yes, I was a kid and I fell for the gimmick. Shit, they had a pentagram on the thing singing about the devil. In the beginning, I thought they were devil worshippers.
I know. Every metalhead thought it was the coolest thing back then, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, certifications. It's 4 times platinum in the United States, which is over 4 million copies sold. Gold in Australia with 35,000, and 3 times platinum in Canada with over 300,000 sold. So there is the charts.
I don't know where this ranks on the Motley sales. I know Dr. Feelgood's the top seller of all time.
Yeah.
I'm sure this probably outsold Theater of Pain, but Theater of Pain had Home Sweet Home and that fucking dumbass Smoking in the Boys' Room, which were actually probably bigger hits. So maybe it sold more. I'm not going to look it up. I'm not that interested.
Oh shit.
And you do know I'm wearing a Kiss shirt tonight. I didn't put no fucking Motley Crue shirt on. I've only got 3 left. I gave my niece Heather everything I own Motley Crue. She's supposed to get it when I died anyway, so she got it early.
Oh shit.
So I'm supporting Kiss here tonight as we talk about
Fake Kiss.
fake Kiss. Yeah, I guess you could call them a fake Kiss. Nikki Sixx would beat your ass for saying that, but maybe they are a fake Kiss.
Oh, let him try.
I don't know, man. In 1983, I thought Motley Crue was a whole lot cooler than Kiss at that point. So I was dumb and stupid then. Of course, Kiss were doing fucking Lick It Up, and look how they looked.
Yeah, they were
They had
pretty
Vinnie
glammy on
Vincent.
that.
Yeah, so Motley looked cool as shit compared to Kiss at this point. I just dropped that CD again.
You're gonna scratch it, man. You're gonna scratch your perfectly unscratched CDs.
Whatever.
All right, now this album was basically pretty much their breakthrough album. You know, they sold 200,000 copies in the first 2 weeks of its release, and like you said, the use of the pentagram was thrown in with the satanic panic shit that was going on in the 80s. And when I went and seen these guys with Ozzy in Chicago, there was a big church group out in the parking lot of the Rosemont Horizon burning Motley Crue albums.
Good. Now this is the symbol that Nikki Sixx is making on the album cover.
Okay.
He's not doing the devil horns. He's doing this, which Gene does, and Gene says it means I love you. So I don't know if Nikki's just naive or stupid or thought he was cool or what. And I'm sorry, he had to be wearing a fucking wig. Now that I know more about the music business, I don't think that was his real hair.
Always thought it sort of looked like Joan Jett.
Sort of does look like Joan Jett.
Like he could, if you were gonna pick a wig, why would you pick that style? Wouldn't you do something like longer or something? Or I
don't
would
know. I just don't think this is Nikki's real hair. Now the rest of them, I have no question. I know it's their, especially Mick and Tommy and Vince even. But I just think Nikki's, and you know, people make fun of Kiss at age 72, Paul Stanley, for wearing a wig on stage. He doesn't have to. Paul's still got his hair. He just wears his hair short.
Yep.
And when he performs as a Star Child, I think he prefers to have the longer hair. So
Yep.
he puts the wig on, and it honestly would look better without it. Of course, it doesn't matter because they're now retired officially. But dude, I'm telling you, Nikki was wearing a wig in 1983. I'm going on record. Somebody challenge me on it and prove me wrong.
If you're listening, Nikki, was it a wig?
Nikki, if you're listening, you're the biggest piece of shit that ever existed. And I used to be, you were my hero, Nikki Sixx, for many, many years. And I was a fool. Just like following some wrestling guy that turns bad, it feels like. When Hulk Hogan turned bad and joined the NWO, Nikki Sixx is about the same.
Well, I guess they brought the pentagram thing from the band's sister he was in with Blackie
Lawless. Yeah, that's true.
And Blackie Lawless was changing his thing when he started Wasp. So Nikki asked him, "Hey, can I use the pentagram thing for our album?" And Blackie was like, "Sure, I'm done with that shit. Go ahead, you know."
Yeah, Blackie dealt with the occult or dibbled with it, I think, in reality. Nicky didn't even know how he stole a guitar and learned how to play bass, supposedly. I don't believe anything Nikki Sixx says now, honestly. All them stories he's told all the years, I think they were all lies. So I don't know what to believe. I believe he stole the pentagram from Blackie with his approval. So I guess it's not stealing, but still, it wasn't original.
And this is also the time in the band when they were all pretty much fucking idiots.
Is that stopped?
And well,
Except for Mick.
started the bullshit, with them all being idiots, I guess. Nicky got in a wreck. He stole somebody's fucking Porsche and wrapped it around a tree and fucked his shoulder up. So that's how he got on drugs. And started out with Percocet and ended up being a fucking heroin addict. So,
And was such a heroin addict that he wrote a diary about everything every time he shot up.
I'm pretty open with my past drug use and shit.
Did you ever write a diary?
But no, and I would never write a diary.
Well, D. Snyder, my buddy D says that he's not an alcoholic and he's never touched a drug in his life, but he's known plenty of heroin addicts. He's never known one heroin addict that had the ability to write a 2-year diary or whatever the hell it was. But Nicky magically could do so.
Yeah, I don't
Nicky
see how.
Overdosed and died almost, or supposedly died, went to the hospital, came back, and was writing in his diary the next day. This is just turned into a shit on Nikki Sixx session, hasn't it? I knew it was going to. I can't help it. I've never been more disappointed by a musician in my life, besides maybe Metallica during the prime of their stupidity. But yeah, Nicky did. He stole a Porsche, crashed it, fucked up himself, and probably did not play bass on the album because of that. That actually might be a logical reason.
Exactly.
Vince had not killed anybody yet at this point, so that's a good thing.
No,
that would be later. That's for later Motley Crue reviews if we do any more of these.
You're gonna have to start doing an episode like 2 albums worth, and then another 2 albums. You'll have to do a an era episode.
Right there. That would take a whole episode there. Dr. Feelgood. You can tell Motley Crue is my favorite band because they're the very top of my CD shelf. And this is still the best album Motley Crue ever fucking recorded, period. Not Shout at the Devil.
Okay.
It's the 94 Motley Crue album. I'll review those, but not tonight because whoa.
The hell you doing, man?
All right. I don't got my scruples, dude. I feel like I'm dizzy and shit.
I really think you should have made a drink.
No, I'm fucking dropping shit, man. Ow. Okay, where were we?
All right, we're gonna go over the track list now. We got a lot of stuff to cover here. The original release from 1983. Track 1, In the Beginning, and that's basically like a intro type thing, and that's like one of the first times I have ever heard something like that on an album. They're like pioneers of that.
In the Beginning, I know the whole thing, and I don't feel like saying it. But when you're a kid in 1983 who had been forced to go to a Lutheran school since kindergarten, and me and my buddy Eric are sort of the rebels of the school, hear this album, we thought we had just really hit the lottery with this. We'd play that In the Beginning all the time, and we thinking we was going to conjure some kind of demon up. I had no idea what they were even saying. I just thought, man, this is satanic. We thought it was actually, this is how dumb I was as a kid. We actually thought that in the beginning was a satanic ritual taking place and recorded and put on this album.
Did you ever play it backwards?
We tried. We couldn't get anything out of it. Shout at the Devil's got some backwards lyrics in it, I know.
The music for that was done by Jeff Workman, which he's a English record producer. Track 2, we got the title track of the album, Shout at the Devil. Track 3.
We're not going to talk about Shout at the Devil.
Shout at the Devil. Yeah, we can talk about it. What do you got to say about it?
It was never released as a single. There's no video for it, but it's the most known song from the album, probably.
That and track 3.
Track 3, yeah, but I think Shout at the Devil beats track 3.
Yeah.
I think if you were to play Motley Crue songs, Shout at the Devil is more known than track 3, which is
Looks That Kill,
which was a music video that was fucking creepy as hell, honestly.
Yeah, had the weird chicks in it clawing at everybody.
Tommy had the pentagrams on his drums.
Yeah. Very cool video for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Track 4, we got Bastard. Anything to say about that song?
He wrote it about somebody. I think Tipper Gore. Because consider that bastard dead, but he said he wasn't really wanting to kill her or nothing. Now, you do know that Nicky wrote all the lyrics in Motley Crue. I don't know if many people are familiar with that. Vince Neil never wrote anything. He never wrote a lyric one. Nicky had always been their primary lyricist until John Corabi joined the band, and then they wrote together. So all this shit Nicky did write, and I believe, and with everything I own, that Nicky did write all these lyrics.
Yes, he did.
So I do believe that was about Tipper Gore. Very forgetful song.
Wouldn't you have called it bitch then?
Well, he was on Percocet, dude.
All right, track 5, we got God Bless the Children of the Beast,
which is some little instrumental, scary sounding shit.
Yeah, that Mick Mars created.
Mick did create it.
Yeah.
The Alistair Fiend himself, Mick Mars.
Track 6, we got Helter Skelter, which is a Beatles cover.
And I'm assuming it was only on here to make them look satanic, like they supported Charles Manson.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But they didn't do too bad of a job covering it. I thought they did a pretty good job.
I wasn't a fan of it in 83. I wasn't a fan of it in 93, and I'm really not a fan of it today. Of course, everybody knows I'm not a fan of the Beatles either. But I like that song Come Together, which Aerosmith done, and I thought Aerosmith did a good job with. I would say adequate to mediocre, not very rememberable for me. I would never play Helter Skelter if I was in the car.
From the Beatles or Motley Crue?
Oh, fuck the Beatles, yeah.
Oh.
Fuck Motley Crue and the band. Fuck the whole song. Fuck Charlie Manson. Fuck everybody. I've been watching too much CM Punk videos. I'm very rebellious and my head hurts. And my foot's swelled up.
Oh, shit. All right, we're going on to side 2, track 1, Red Hot.
I like Red Hot.
Yeah, it's a good, fast.
Yeah, Red Hot is a damn good song. I actually would play this in the car if I was in a mood to hear Motley Crue. Red Hot would be a go-to song from this album for me.
That beginning drums, you know that.
Tommy was a very underrated drummer. Tommy is a fucking awesome drummer, and he never got the credits he deserved.
But he couldn't.
I think he did get them later on, but back then he was just considered, a douchebag in Motley Crue. He was a good drummer, and he still is. I give Tommy a lot of credit.
All right. Track 2, side 2, Too Young to Fall in Love. I guess that was sort of like the ballad of the album.
It's a shitty song, and the video was shitty. Never did like that song. Even in my prime days of Motley, I never liked this song. It's just boring. It's just got a boring riff to it. It
All
sounds
right.
better live, actually. When they did it
Yeah.
live, it actually had a little bit more intensity to it than the recording.
Track 3, side 2, we got Knock 'em Dead Kid, and I think that's pretty much like a filler song.
Yeah, it's a okay song.
Track 4, 10 Seconds to Love.
Yeah, good song.
I like that song.
You know what it's about, don't you?
No,
You
not
don't.
really. Probably about how long it takes
Nikki Six.
Nikki Six to achieve a orgasm.
That's exactly what this song is about. The lyrics are all about that.
All right, then we got track 5, Danger. It's a pretty good song. I'm not
Sort of forgetful.
yeah, another filler.
Yeah.
They should have probably used the other 2 songs that we'll get into here in a second.
Yeah.
We're going on to the 2003 20th anniversary release. There's extra tracks here. Track 12, Shout of the Devil demo. Track 13, Looks That Kill demo. And track 14, Hotter Than Hell demo version of Louder Than Hell.
I was gonna say Hotter Than Hell's a Kiss song.
Track
Yeah, it eventually
15,
will come out on Theater of Pain. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. And then the last track, 15, was I Will Survive, which was actually a unreleased track from this session. And it's probably one of the better songs of the whole session. I don't know why it never made the album.
Yep. And are you showing a track 16, a demo of Too Young to Fall in Love too?
Nope.
Really? Well, they're showing it here. Evidently,
Mm.
they're wrong. Because
Well, either that or they've re-released it again and put something else on it to try to. Motley will do that. They'll throw like one live song or one demo on to try to get people to rebuy the CD for the 15th time. So probably yet another re-release.
Yep. And like we were talking about earlier, they have released a 40th anniversary edition box set. And it might be worth it just to get the fucking Ouija board, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool because I don't know of anybody, and I'm sure I'm probably not that up on box sets, that actually released the vinyl, the CD, and even a cassette tape, which is probably more of a novelty item now, but I guess some people still got cassette players. Actually, I've got one down here right below me that I don't really use, but I can use it to dub shit from cassette to computer. Anyway, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm saying I mean a lot because when I get tired and dizzy, I say I mean. So ignore me for that. I apologize. But
Holy shit.
what
Guess how much they want for this box set?
I would say it'd be about $299.
Nope, $164.95 on
That's a bargain.
Amazon. Yeah.
That's cheap. I don't know if you're holy shit and thinking it's expensive.
I'm thinking it's expensive. I wouldn't pay
No, it's not
$64.
expensive for a box set because you're getting the vinyl and the CD. And
Yeah.
usually they will release those separately. And if you want both, you got to pay for both, which would be like I just got a White Snake, the purple, the deep purple thing covered El redid. The
Okay.
CDs was about $30. The vinyl was like about 45. So if you wanted both, you're gonna be paying about $80. So I think that's a bargain. Actually, I'm actually commend them for making it that cheap. Because in the world of box sets, it's all about collectability as well. So you buy this thing now, in 5 years, it probably gonna be worth about $500.
But usually a box set has 2 or 3 albums, and this is just one album, you know?
Yeah, but
But-
there's a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah. It, like I said, it might be worth it just for that Ouija board and the tarot cards and all that. So
Yeah, it comes with its own tarot cards and a Ouija board and the planche thing or whatever you call it.
Boy, just think if they had this back when you were back in '83, man, you could have had you a hoot nanny.
Boy, I would have been in heaven, wouldn't I?
Oh, no shit.
Even in my height of being a Crue fan, they would release some of the weirdest box sets. And I remember they did one. I forget what they called those things now, but they were wanting like $50 back in the 90s for them. And I'm like, why the hell am I going to rebuy that? Because I already own these CDs. So Motley is really bad about putting just basic shit out. So this year, the devil thing, I kind of think that's pretty cool, but I'm not going to pay anything to Nikki Sixx at this stage. He's got all the money he's going to get out of me. Unless he gets some sense and breaks up Motley Crue and goes back to 6 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know
But
why he gave that up.
fuck, I don't know.
That
I
was
don't know
some of
what
his best work.
I don't know what Nikki's thinking. Motley Crue actually went out on top with the retirement tour and that last show. They actually did 3 shows in Los Angeles, and they taped the last one, and Tommy's drums got stuck. And they taped it all, and they just kept going. You know, it was this raw shit, and Vince sounded halfway decent, and they really went out on top. And I was so proud. They're like, this is like my favorite band, and they actually did it right. Everybody else has to do all these fake retirements and all this. They go out with 15 replacement members, but Nikki, for whatever reason, wanted to. It's all because of that Dirt movie on Netflix becoming such a hit.
Yeah.
So many of the kids were wanting to see what a Motley Crue show was like, so he gave in to the temptations, and now they're in a real mess. Mick is gone. They're accusing Nikki of not playing bass. Nobody has any clue what Vince Neil's doing. And poor Tommy, I don't even know why he's putting up with this shit.
He's a DJ somewhere or some shit at some club in Los Angeles, I heard.
Better off as a DJ than the Motley Crue drummer. Him and Vince Neil hate each other with a passion. I've talked about that on the show before.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck they're doing or why they're still doing it. Maybe if they would have just said, hey, we're going to tour with Def Leppard, do this one tour, and then we're going back into retirement, I could have lived with it. But the whole getting rid of Mick and bringing in John 5 this is just ridiculous. And it's killed every legacy they had to me and all the respect. And it's hard for me to even praise anything they do. But I guess I will praise the Year of the Devil box set. So there you go, Nikki. Thumbs up for that. Motherfucker, you did something good.
Well, I seen where Def Leppard and Journey's going out on tour this next.
They are. They're doing the same thing without Motley Crue, and it's going to have Steve Miller Band and I think Heart.
Cheap Trick too, man.
I'm surprised Cheap Trick's still touring.
Cheap Trick puts on a great show. I don't know about now, but they used to. I've seen them 3 or 4 times, man, because they're like
they opened for Motley during one of the after Vince came back tours, and I actually missed Cheap Trick because I didn't get to the show until later. But yeah, that's going to be kind of a cool show. I would actually be more willing to go see it with Journey than Motley Crue, for God fucking sakes. Who would have thought I would ever have said that in my life? But I've just said it.
Oh,
at least Journey's fake and admits it.
Yeah. That new singer, though, he sounds just like fucking what's his name?
Yeah, fucking Nikki needs to go get a goddamn Vince Neil sound alike. And
yeah, no shit. Everybody else does.
He ain't gonna get John Corabi back. Corabi has no interest in ever dealing with these douchebags again. He's having more success in Dead Daisies anyway. The Dead Daisies can legitimately sell out a concert. Motley can't do it. They got to go tour with Def Leppard and Poison. And fucking everybody said Poison put on the best show of any of them on that arena tour.
Really?
Or stadium tour, whatever the fuck they called it. I've said fuck a lot tonight. Yeah. I'm probably coming off as being real gruff and angry. You try falling off of a stool and breaking your curtain rod and fucking up the Christmas tree. Then you'll know how I feel. And then I have to talk about Motley fucking Crue.
All right, let's talk about some of the touring here. Before they even recorded the album, they were touring, I guess, as like a end of the Too Fast for Love tour. Well, they got signed on with Kiss.
It didn't last.
6 shows. And then Gene had to put the fucking axe down on him.
And Gene still brags about that to this day. And Nikki, I've never, except for Dee Snider, and I don't know why he does. I've never seen anybody talk more shit about Kiss than Nikki Sixx. I guess he holds a grudge for getting fired.
Well, if Gene is saying that that he's firing him because of bad behavior, it had to be pretty bad. I would say.
Yeah, because he had to deal with Ace Frehley and Peter Criss and their behavior for numbers of years. So
yeah, and that was the Creatures of the Night tour or / 10-year tour.
yeah, the 10-year anniversary. That was the last tour in makeup, actually.
Yeah.
So Kiss were still in makeup and Motley was dressing like that. So what a combination.
Well, that's probably why they got him on there. All right. Then after the album was released, they started a tour with Ozzy.
And that was some wild shit from what I've been told.
Yeah, yes. You
They
know,
were doing some fucked up shit
on the
that
movie
tour.
Dirt, on the Dirt movie or whatever it was, they showed fucking Ozzy snorting the fucking ants and drinking his own piss and all
Ozzy
that.
said that he don't remember that ever happening, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
To the point where Ozzy pretty much said, yeah, I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
You know, I bet it was a crazy fucking tour.
Oh, I'm sure it was crazy.
Don't deny that. But also, this is the time where they were thinking about, we were talking about earlier, firing Mick Mars. And
they were talking about firing Mick, the first of many times over the next 40 years.
And I guess this discussion happened on Ozzy's tour bus. And they wanted to try to guess who they wanted to try to get to play guitar.
I don't remember offhand.
Yngwie Malmsteen. They were going to hire Yngwie Malmsteen.
That would have lasted like a week with that dude's attitude. That guy thinks he's a bigger shit than Nikki.
Well,
oh my God, that would have been a disaster.
Guess who talked him out of it?
Jeff Pilson.
Nope, Bob Daisley.
I was close. I was a bass player. For some reason, I thought Dokken was on that tour, I think. Bob Daisley was a genius. He's the one that wrote all of Ozzy's lyrics, so.
Yeah, on the first 2 albums at least, wasn't it? Yeah.
All the way through No More Tears.
Yeah. But yeah, he says
oh my God, I could not imagine them playing with Malmsteen with his that dude's had like 25 singers because he can't get along with anybody.
They did all kinds.
Nikki's egos would have just fucking clashed. Maybe they should have went and hired Ace Frehley.
And then they got on the Monsters of Rock festival.
That didn't go well either.
Supporting Van Halen and AC/DC. And Vince Neil actually bit Eddie Van Halen when they were eating dinner one night. Yeah, Tommy Lee bit Malcolm Young.
Malcolm Young probably liked it.
And I guess
Malcolm Young's crazy.
I guess they were both fucking really pissed off and wanted them kicked off the thing. And
so Malcolm didn't like being bit.
Either did fucking Eddie Van Halen.
Well, I'm sure if it had been Angus would have been okay with it.
And guess Tommy Lee also got into a fist fight with David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
And got him kicked out of their motel. And the promoters said, "Hey, we're not gonna kick them off the tour, but here's what we'll do." They fucking put them in a trailer until they were going to go on stage, and they had a crane hoist the trailer 50 feet in the air so they couldn't fucking leave, so they couldn't get out.
It's like fucking animals in a cage.
I guess. Yeah, that's the only way that AC/DC and Van Halen would agree to them staying on the
But is any of this
thing.
really true? I just thought, who knows, man?
Who knows? I wouldn't put it past anything, man, for sure.
I wouldn't either.
Oh,
I need to reread The Dirt, I guess, because I haven't read that book in so long. I've about
yeah,
forgotten.
that was Doc McGee who fucking coordinated that fucking thing.
Yeah, Doc was their manager then.
So yeah,
That's another reason why Nikki hates Gene, because Gene stole Doc McGee.
that's funny. Let's see here. That's about all I got for the tour.
Yeah, sort of a disaster.
Yeah, mostly they after the Monsters of Rock, they mostly did like one-off gigs at bars and shit and small clubs. Besides their European dates, which
then
they
went and
headlined.
recorded Theater of Pain.
Yep.
Which I guess we'll discuss at a later date.
So that's about all I got for the tour. You got anything else that you want to add?
Haven't I said enough?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, like I said, when I was a kid, this album was one of the first real rock metal albums that actually made me think that this is like a scary, dangerous world of music. I don't know. I was a kid. What the fuck would I have known? They look like monsters.
What were you, about 12 when this came out?
Probably, yeah.
I was
maybe
15,
11.
I think. I think I was 15 when this came out.
Might have been 11. I don't know. But yeah, it was scary. It was cool. It was spooky. But, I don't know when I actually decided that Motley Crue were my favorite band. I remember Home Sweet Home. It still holds a very sacred place in my heart. But yeah, I have lots of memories of this album really kind of being a big influence upon my future musical roots. So it's hard to hate on it, even though I don't particularly like the band anymore. It's not their best album. I'll never believe that. Like I said, every non-Motley Crue fan will tell you it's their best album just because they feel it's a heavier metal album than Motley had ever recorded before or after. And I sort of disagree with that too. I still think Too Fast for Love was a heavier and better album. But it holds its place. It's got some stinkers on it, and Shout at the Devil, the song is still iconic, although I sort of prefer the Generation Swine remix a bit better.
Okay.
Other than that, I have nothing more to say.
All right.
Before I start talking shit.
What are you gonna
rate it? You rate it first.
Okay, well, this album, a lot of memories of when I was a teenager for sure. This was like basically the hardest stuff that'd come out at the time, besides their first album.
Yeah, the first album is just as heavy. People just don't remember it that way.
And I'd been listening. It was like way harder than like Maiden and Priest and all that,
We had a lot of
dirty feeling,
dirty, sort of punky, sort of edgy. Exactly. The whole satanic vibe. A lot there.
A lot of good memories of my youth.
Yeah.
Everybody was playing this at parties and shit back then,
So you kind of have to, being this album's over 40 years old, you kind of have to rate it for what you felt it was once and how it's held up. So what do you think over time, how has this album held up?
I think it's held up actually pretty good. I still like it. I listened to it today for probably the first time in at least a few years. I listened to it today while I was building my floor for my shed. So yeah, I think it still holds up for sure.
So what are we going to give it on a 1 to 5 pentagrams?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5, dude.
Okay.
I really like this album. It's one of my most favorite albums of theirs for sure.
Of
Not my
course.
favorite, but
Of course. You're the non-Motley Crue fan going to say Shout at the Devil's his favorite album.
I didn't say it was my favorite.
Well, which one is?
I'd probably
New
have to say
Tattoo.
Dr. Feelgood.
Good choice.
I'd probably have
Good
to say Dr.
choice.
Feelgood.
Because Dr. Feelgood is a way better album than this, but that's for a later date.
Yes.
So 4.5.
Yeah. For sure. I think it still holds up. All right.
Honestly, anything that Motley Crue is associated with now, I'm going to give it a -1 pentagram just because I don't believe anything they ever said now. I think their whole career was fake. As fake as a pro wrestling gimmick almost. I don't know if anything they ever said was true anymore.
Oh,
I don't
shitty.
know that they were being held captive in a tour thing, or if that's just more publicity that they built up to try to create themselves as the bad boys of rock and roll.
I don't know.
While there were other bands of lesser wildness who had members die, like Def Leppard.
If anybody listening seen Motley Crue on the Monsters of Rock tour in 1984,
Were they held captive?
And seeing them being held suspended in the 50 feet in the air by a crane in a trailer, please send us an email to evilneverdieспod
Because
at
I don't,
gmail.com.
yeah, that. I don't believe it. I think a lot of their whole career was a bunch of publicity stunts now. With that, I don't know. I guess I'll give this a 4 reluctantly. I think it probably should go down a little further into the 3s, really, at this stage of the game.
Okay.
Shout at the Devil's an okay song. Too Young to Fall in Love. I never liked it even back then. I'm looking.
The girls love that song, though, dude. All the girls love that song.
Well, the girls loved Nicky because he had a big schlong, I think. So did
Tommy, you
Tommy.
mean?
No, both of them.
Oh.
Looks That Kill is probably the better song on the album. Red Hot's also a damn good song. But I think Red Hot's the best song on the album. So I'll reluctantly give it a 4.
Okay.
I never thought it was their greatest album in the heyday. I think Too Young to Fall in Love and Dr. Feelgood are better. So
All right.
I don't have much to analyze on this thing other than lots of good memories.
Yes, for
And
sure.
40 years later, it's a shame that this band has turned into what it has turned into. Hold on. Guess what?
What?
Vince Neil just showed up at the house.
Vince Neil. Oh, fuck.
Hey, Vince, what's up? Hi.
Is he fat?
No, he's looking good. All right, everybody. Welcome to the show, Vince Neil. Hi, Vince. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, shit. Let's hear a rendition of Looks That Kill there.
That's not even right because he makes noises that you can't. I don't know. I know when he does Kickstart My Heart, he like throws out like it sounds like he's in pain usually. Vince, you want to sing?
All right.
Wear his hat.
If you're not watching, I'm sure everybody has seen the memes of Vince Neil as the
Bumble
from
from
Rudolph the
Frosty the
Red-Nosed.
Snowman.
Oh, is it Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph?
It's from Rudolph.
Yeah, it's from Rudolph. So, yeah, Carl has his Bumble out.
I have Vince Neil with me. We're hugging.
All
I don't
right.
think this is really Vince Neil because I don't think I'd be hugging Vince Neil.
Well, you wouldn't be able to hug him like that for sure. You'd need 4 arms.
And it's not cool to talk about somebody being overweight. It's not cool to talk about somebody's voice being shot because they're older.
But when you
it's
don't give it up,
but when you don't even try, then fuck you. Don Dokken, fucking Don Dokken. I have so much respect for that dude. Don Dokken actually, his right arm or his right hand is now paralyzed. He can't sing like he used to. And he even said, I can't sing like that anymore. And he says, I don't make any attempt to try. And I'm telling the fans now, don't expect me to sound like I did in the 80s because I can't sound like that anymore. He said, I've changed my vocals to fit what I can do as an old dude now.
yeah.
Respect to Don Dokken for saying that and for being honest that his arm's fucked up. But Vince is trying to portray himself as being, oh my God, he's singing. Vince. Oh, shut up. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Vince tries to play that he's still the 1980s Vince Neil.
Yeah.
And, maybe Paul Stanley tries a little bit too, but Paul will come out and say, if you want to hear what I sounded like in 1970, go buy Alive or Alive 2.
Yeah.
He said, because I don't sound like that anymore. So it's not cool to make fun of somebody, but Vince Neil has put himself out for display, so he gets what he asked for. Shit. I remember when he was kicked out of Motley Crue, Tommy Lee and Nikki were making fun of him and calling him a beached whale. Because I guess he'd crashed in a boat and almost drowned, and they were making fun of that. So shouldn't be making fun of somebody for their looks, but when you're out there trying to perform and play stadiums and yeah, it's just not cool. Fucking Mick Mars. That man is a champion.
Yeah.
He is a hero and he is the real fucking shit. And Mick Mars was the heart and soul of Motley Crue. And he always had been and he always will be.
He's got a solo album coming out. He's got a solo album coming out.
I know he does. He's been working on it for years now.
Yeah. I bet it's going to be fucking awesome too.
But that man was Motley Crue. Mr. Mick Mars. Bob Deal. That's his real name.
Well, the whole thing why they wanted to fire him at the beginning is because he was older than everybody. He's like 10 years older than everybody. It's like, who cares?
Well, just like Izzy Stradlin and Slash together, or the Heart of Guns N' Roses, Mick was was Motley Crue, period. It wasn't Tommy, it wasn't fucking Nikki, and it certainly wasn't the Bumble. It was Mick. And that's the goddamn truth.
Mick
without Mick, they would have never been
man.
shit. They would have never been shit without Mick Mars. So I'm preaching now. You might want to shut me up.
All right, shut up, man. All right, that's all we got for Motley Crue, Shout of the Devil. We're not playing snippets anymore, so you won't be
play
hearing
this.
any.
You think that got us nuked?
Oh shit, I don't know.
I think it's got to be like 10 seconds.
So, all right, everybody.
Sorry I was grumpy and feel bad, but I really, honestly, that's no storyline or wrestling angle. I really did fall off the red stool just before we started.
Yes, he did.
I feel better now.
Feel better that you've bitched the whole time?
No, I think the pain's starting to wear off a bit. I think it just jarred me a bit. I didn't get the
everybody.
See, I am a trained wrestler, and I didn't get the fall like I'm supposed to fall because I was scared. I didn't know I was falling, so that's why I got hurt, I think. If I'd have fallen like a pro wrestler falls, I would have jumped right up and laughed.
The reflexes are getting slow in the old age.
Yep. Okay. Stay evil. Good night.
Bye, everybody.